Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer makes decision on Anthony Martial's future. Solskjaer has told the Glazers he wants Anthony Martial to stay because he thinks he's got a big role to play in for next season. Martial has been linked with a move away from the club. The vast majority of Manchester United fans want him to go. Martial is out with a knee injury at the moment. He's been out with this knee injury for a while. He was out of form last season before he got that knee injury. The chances were there for Martial, but he didn't convert them. Don't forget, Martial did get sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham towards the start of last season. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons at Man United. He was good the season before last. Got voted Player of the Year. And he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. Martial has been at Manchester United 6 years now. We got him in a deal worth £57 million from Monaco with add-ons included. We got him as a 19-year-old. But you know, we sell Anthony Martial in the summer transfer window. I reckon we can get maybe £25 million. He's no longer good enough to represent the club. Now, Man United have decided against making a move for Harry Kane. And instead, we will battle it out for Erling Haaland. Football 365 said not so long ago that Man United will offer 200 million plus the captaincy for Harry Kane. Harry Kane is valued at around £150 million. Mauricio Pochettino could be making a return to Tottenham. So that could convince Harry Kane to remain at Tottenham. Pochettino has been in talks with Tottenham over a return to the club. Pochettino, though, won't go back to Tottenham if Tottenham decide to sell Kane. The Manchester Evening News said not so long ago that Man United are preparing to sign Harry Kane. We are ready to double his wages to around £400,000 a week, and we would pay an 18 million signing on fee to compensate any loss of earnings on his Tottenham contract. Daniel Levy, he recently slapped a £200 million asking price on Kane. Tottenham will get nowhere near 200 million. I reckon the most they'll get for Kane is 120 million. Daniel Levy obviously doesn't want Tottenham to sell Kane because he is aware of how much of an imperative player he is. The other week, Daniel Levy was furious with Harry Kane for going public with his desire to leave. The other week. Because Harry Kane had an interview with Gary Neville regarding his future. Kane came out and said that he'll decide on his own future, not Daniel Levy. And Solskjaer is was pushing for Man United to sign Harry Kane, and he's open to selling Martial to fund the move for Kane. Gary Neville the other week named 3 players Man United could offer Tottenham in a swap deal for Kane. The other week though, Harry Kane put a transfer request in, because Kane did make it clear that he wants to win team trophies. He said that after Tottenham's Carabao Cup final defeat to Man City, Tottenham have not won a trophy for like 13 years. Man United, Man City and Chelsea have obviously all been in contact with his representatives. Ryan Mason, who's Tottenham's interim manager, the other week he dismissed suggestions that Harry Kane asked to leave. Chelsea did actually launch a bidding for him. He said they was willing to offer Tammy Abraham and Arrizabalaga as part of a swap deal. But I'm very sceptical he'll go to Chelsea. Kane recently won the Golden Boot. He's won it now 3 times. One point it said the Glazers were ready to sanction a £90 million bid. You know, Harry Kane is regarded as one of the best strikers in the world. He's a prolific goal scorer. He's well proven in the Premier League. And he would fit our team perfectly. But I just think he's too much money. Kane has endured 17 years at Tottenham, so he's been a very long-serving player. Got a contract with them until 2024. He has had loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. It said earlier on today though that Man United prefer to sign Jadon Sancho over Harry Kane. We've got a very good chance of signing Jadon Sancho this summer. Man United already have 2 Jadon Sancho transfer agreements. That's an internal agreement and the personal terms. Borussia Dortmund are demanding £80 million for Sancho. Jadon Sancho has Man United transfer hopes as Borussia Dortmund are looking for replacements. They want Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea to replace Sancho. Jadon Sancho wants his future resolved before the start of the Euros. Borussia Dortmund have already told Jadon Sancho that he can leave the club this summer, and Solskjaer made him a transfer priority. Sky Sports recently said that Man United is the most realistic destination for Sancho, and Man United do remain in talks with his representatives. Dortmund earlier on this year did confirm that they've got a gentleman's agreement with the player that will allow him to depart Dortmund this summer, and the Manchester Evening News said that Jadon Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund. But yeah, Sancho will be a very good signing for Man United. The reasons is because he'd fit our team perfectly. He's predominantly a right winger. He would exceed expectations in the Premier League. He would create good chances and he'd score very good goals. Plus he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. He speaks to Marcus Rashford a lot. So they are the reasons. We should have got Sancho last summer, because Sancho to Man United last summer was extremely close. The personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed and a contract had been agreed, but we couldn't come to an agreement on an actual fee, so that's what the stumbling block was. Dortmund were demanding £108 million. We was only willing to pay so much up front. So there you go. Now, you know the news on Tom Heaton. Manchester United are set to sign Tom Heaton on a 3 transfer. Tom Heaton has agreed a 2-year contract with an option of a further year. Fabrizio Romano said, Tom Heaton will undergo a medical and sign as a new Man United player in the next weeks. And he does mention that the deal is done and completed. Tom Heaton recently said his goodbyes to Aston Villa. Tom Heaton last Friday got released by Aston Villa. It got confirmed on their official website. His current contract was due to expire at Villa very soon. Villa did pay £8 million for him from Burnley. Did quite well at Burnley, Tom Heaton. We did have Tom Heaton before though, didn't we? You know, came up our academy and that. So yeah, he's set to be our first signing this summer. Got quite a lot of goalkeepers now with Man United. Obviously, we've got De Gea, we've got Henderson, we've got Lee Grant, we've got Romero, we've got Bishop. Now, obviously, we've got Tom Heaton. Not long now until the summer transfer window opens. It opens on the 9th of June. The summer transfer window is going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. And Solskjaer is aware of how big the summer transfer window is going to be for himself and Manchester United in general. It's very imperative that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in, because I don't think he's been backed enough so far. Our board have said that they will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a new 3-year contract and summer signings. Our board have promised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer around 4 new signings. Solskjaer has been given a 150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. Our transfer budget will increase because obviously we'll sell players in the summer transfer window. But yeah, he should get the backing he deserves, reflecting on what the board have recently said. And plus, we've got John Murtaugh, he's our director of football. We've also got Darren Fletcher, and we've also got Matt Judge. And Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. Next season is absolutely huge for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he is aware of that. Next season, Ole has got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Man United manager. If things start to go wrong next season, then I think Ole will be back under pressure. Ole has now endured 2 full seasons at Man United, and he's been in charge of Manchester United for 29 months. That's over 2 years. Obviously, there's been some Man United fans demanding Ole out of the club, reflecting on that Europa League final loss to Villarreal. There was a lot of United fans demanding him out before that anyway, but I presume there's still a lot of United fans that are Ole in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. I've got to credit Ole though. You know, I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. When Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he was inheriting a lot of deadwood, and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. I can assure Ole is not the long-term manager for Man United, but I hope I'm proven wrong. He hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, as he? Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He enjoyed 2 spells at Molde, and before Molde he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. He got sacked from Cardiff because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. Ole has just under a year left on his current 3-year contract, so some United fans will be saying, wait to see how it goes on the remainder of his contract, and then obviously if he does well, then give him the new 3-year contract then. I do think it is a bit pointless giving him it now, because he won't see out the new 3-year deal. But Ole is our best manager since Ferguson. But whatever happens regarding Ole, I'll always love him, because at the end of the day, he is a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Man United, and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. When he'd taken over at Man United, he knew it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. So the things I've got to credit Ole for is that when he got appointed in as Man United manager, he assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players. And more or less everybody's been given their chances. He's got a lot of trustworthy in his young players. Got us a second place finish in his second full season. Isn't an achievement, but you can see progress was made from Ole's first full season. Last season, we went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League. Ole also got us to the Europa League final. No, we didn't win it, and that was disappointing, but he still got us to the final. That was his first major final as Man United manager. Got us to the FA Cup quarter-final and got us to the EFL Cup semi-final. He did well in his first full season, got us a third place finish and guided us to 3 semi-finals. He has made good signings as Manchester United manager. So far he's spent almost £300 million and he's enjoyed 4 transfer windows. He's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. So they are the positives. I've also got my concerns about him as well. His decision making is my biggest concern, because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive. Yeah, there's been some games where he showed tactical flexibility, but he doesn't show that persistently, does he? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager, and that's a concern as well. We haven't won a trophy for 4 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. So hopefully next season Solskjaer can win a trophy. I think we can challenge for the Premier League title next season if we recruit well in the summer transfer window. I don't see us winning the title under Ole. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. But if we do eventually decide to sack Solskjaer, who's going to come in to replace him? That is the question. Obviously, at one point, Mauricio Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United. And you hear some United fans saying we should have got Pochettino in when he was managerless, before he went to PSG. Because I think Pochettino myself would have suited the strappings of the club, and he'd have probably got us back to where we want to be. There again, he's hardly won anything. Won trophy with PSG, but he didn't win out in his 5.5 years at Tottenham, but still did well despite not winning anything. We did appoint Ole in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We're giving the job permanently back in March 2019, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager, because Solskjaer won 14 games out of 19 in all competitions as the interim manager. There is very, very good players at Manchester United. And I think these players that have really, really improved at Man United. Dean Henderson. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. Obviously, Dean Henderson is now our number one goalkeeper. You know, we made the right decision putting him as number one, because he's done well in a lot of his games, and plus he's got that experience behind him. I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. I think also Luke Shaw is a very, very good player. He was our best player last season. Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Tellez. I think Shaw's had a good career at Man United despite his injuries. He has been at the club now for 7 years. I think also Harry Maguire is good, you know, when he wants to be, but he's also enjoyed his bad games as well. Maguire obviously scored in the 2-1 defeat to Sheffield United last season. He also played very well in the Derby defeat. Obviously, Maguire was missing towards the end of last season because obviously he sustained an ankle injury in our 3-1 win against Villa. He's obviously got ligament damage in his ankle. Maguire obviously couldn't play in the Europa League final. Did make the journey, but obviously he missed the final training session. We overpaid for Maguire. We got him in a deal worth £80 million. He's the second most expensive signing at the club, and he's the most expensive centre-half in the world, yeah. I think Eric Bailly's a good centre-half, but he's just too injury-prone. Not so long ago, we gave Eric Bailly a new contract until 2024. There's also an option of a further year. Did we make a mistake giving him that new contract? Probably so, because he's too injury prone, like I mentioned, and actually towards the end of last season he did look off the pace. Tuan Zebe, you know, I think he's improved, you know, in the games he's played in. He seldom plays for us, but I've got to say, Tuan Zebe played well. Was it against Wolves on the final day? I think he played in the Leicester game as well. The best game I recall Tuan Zebe having was the PSG one. He was superb in that game. I think probably Tuan Zebe will stay with us. I think he should be given more opportunities. He really, really should. And a lot of United fans wanted him to actually start the Europa League final. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also improved as well. Defensively, he's always been superb. But he's got to show more in the attacking third of the pitch. That's what's letting him down at the moment. There was some games though last season where he actually showed some good attacking intent. He got in some good positions and he put good crosses into the box. And Wan-Bissaka's now enjoyed 2 full seasons at Man United. We got him in a deal worth $50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. He's one of the best right backs though we've had since Gary Neville, and I'm convinced he can emulate into the next Gary Neville. I think McTominay is a decent player when he wants to be. You know, McTominay's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. His best game last season was the game against Leeds when we won 6-2. He made the difference because he scored 2 goals within, the first 3 or 4 minutes. But McTominay's not on that level where I want him to be at as yet. Obviously, Bruno Fernandez, he's very, very good. In a lot of his games at Man United, he's been very, very consistent, but there's also been a few games where he's looked off the pace, because we have overplayed Bruno Fernandez. won Player of the Year not so long ago, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He said not so long ago that Fernandez is set to sign a new contract worth £200,000 a week. So we're set to double his wages, because he's on £100,000 a week at the moment. Fernandez has currently 4 years left on his current contract, and there's an option of a further year. At one point, he was refusing to sign a new contract until he had assurances over the club's transfer plans, and he also said he wanted Pogba to commit his future before he decides to sign a new contract. He's been with us over a year now. We initially paid, £47 million, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. He's one of the best players we've signed since Ferguson retired, and he is our best player. He'll probably be the next Paul Scholes, to be honest with you, Bruno Fernandez. I've got to say, Paul Pogba has improved as well. You know, we've been getting the best out of him in recent months. You know, he does bring creativity to the team. I hope Paul Pogba stays potentially past the summer, but he may not. You know, Paul Pogba could be leaving Man United. There has been narratives coming out saying that there could be a Paul Pogba and Cristiano Ronaldo swap deal. I presume a lot of United fans would take Ronaldo back, despite him being the age of 36, because Ronaldo's one of the best players in the world. And you know, we had Ronaldo before for 6 years and he was absolutely superb. But I think Paul Pogba will go back to Juventus if he leaves us this summer. Madrid, Barcelona and PSG have been in for him before, so he's had a long-running transfer saga. Pogba could leave for just, £55 million, it said earlier on this year. I think we want from between £55 million to £60 million. Pogba actually intends to stay at Man United beyond this season. Matthias Pogba, who is Paul Pogba's brother, he recently said he wants Paul Pogba to join Barcelona. It said we'll sell Pogba if he doesn't sign a new contract. At one point it said we'll offer him a new contract worth £400,000 a week. It said he was demanding £500,000 a week. His contract expires next year because we did trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. But Solskjaer said he wants Pogba to stay. He plays very, very well in that advanced role. He seems to play much better in an advanced role than he does in a deeper role. He's our most expensive signing at the moment, paid £89 million for him, and he's endured 5 seasons at Man United since he rejoined. And he sustained a few injuries at Man United as well. First part of last season, he was out with a thigh injury. And the season before last, he was out, with an ankle injury, was it? I think he's sustained a couple of ankle injuries at Man United. Mason Greenwood, he's also done really, really well as well. I reckon he's got a long-term future at Man United. He's done well in a lot of his games since he broke into our senior squad. He made his senior debut in 2019 and he's been a United player since the age of 7. Last season he signed a new 4-year contract with Man United. But he deserved a new contract reflecting on his good performances. The start of last season we gave Greenwood that number 11 shirt. Sometimes we play him on the right, sometimes we play him up top, but wherever we seem to play him we get the best out of him most of the time. Edison Cavani, he's also done very, very well since he's come in, made a fantastic impact. We know he's staying for next season because not so long ago he signed a 1-year deal at Man United. Marcus Rashford, you know, he can be good when he wants to be as well. But I thought he was poor towards the end of last season. Some people don't rate Marcus Rashford, but I think we need to keep him on that left-hand side. That's where he's more effective. I don't like him on the right wing, and I don't like him centrally. You don't get the best out of Rashford there. He has become injury-prone at Manchester United. And I think that Untitled Chapter is good as well. You know, I said he looks a very good asset for the first team squad. And yeah. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care, God bless, and I'll be back on with more videos tomorrow.